Is anyone out there? I'm Pokekells.
I'm Lone Wolf Alex, and this is the Dex, if anyone can hear me.
Gosh, I wonder where Alex is. We usually start this together.
I feel so alone. What happened to Kells?
I guess I'll just do the episode without him. Pretty fitting considering this week's Pokemon.
A lonely cub for a lonely trainer.
It's
Cubone!
Huh?
Huh?
Hey!
Oh, I missed you.
This place is weird.
Cubone is known by all as the lonely Pokemon. He's literally the saddest creature in the game. There's not a really good way to say this, so I'm just gonna be blunt. He wears the skull of his dead mother on his head all the time.
Cubone mostly keep to themselves because they are consumed by grief. They are unsociable and can often be found crying, especially on nights of the full moon. That's because they think they can see their mother in the moon's reflection.
His cries echo in his skull helmet and vibrate, which creates a terrible, mournful sound that literally breaks the heart of anyone listening.
That's it. I don't want to do this episode anymore. This is too sad.
You gotta finish the episode.
This is a major bummer. Why would they put a Pokemon like this in the game?
Hey, well, the worst part's over, okay? I mean, besides, we gotta finish or it doesn't count.
Okay, but only like good stuff from now on, okay?
I'll try. It's really sad.
Cubone are likely based off of some sort of bipedal dinosaur, but it's hard to tell because no one has ever seen their face underneath the helmet.
The skull he wears actually looks very similar to a cow skull, which would make him a sort of bipedal, cow-looking thing. A cow Pokemon.
The name Cubone comes from the Latin word cubo, meaning recluse, and bone, from the bones that he wears. Speaking of the bones he wears, did you know that those little cracks on the side of his helmets are actually tear stains? Oh no, I got sad again.
Don't be sad. You know what I bet would cheer you up?
What?
It's giving Cubone redemption for a lifetime sullied with false rumors.
You can't mean.
I do mean. It's time for Pokebusters. You can't mention Cubone without the Kangaskhan theory. The story goes that Cubone, Marowak, and Kangaskhan were once all part of the same evolutionary line. There are many pieces of evidence to support this theory, but let's get to the bottom of this.
Looking at the three Pokemon side by side, you can see definite similarities in their body shape, color scheme, and that its child looks like it could be a helmetless Cubone. But this one's out. Kangaskhan is clearly designed after a kangaroo, and we know Cubone and Marowak are designed after cows and dinosaurs. Cubone and Marowak both hold a bone club, which is a huge aspect of their design, but Kangaskhan mysteriously lacks one. And the little baby in Kangaskhan pouch, we all know what it looks like now thanks to Pokemon X and Y, and it's not a Cubone. Busted!
Next up is that the skull is a Kangaskhan skull because it has the same shape, horns, and eyes as a Kangaskhan. You gotta look a little bit closer. Cubone's skull has a prominent stop, while Kangaskhan's is very round with a short muzzle. And the horns on a Kangaskhan? Hate to tell ya, but those are its ears. Busted.
This next one is tough. A pivotal piece of evidence for this theory is the existence of the M glitch, a less popular cousin of the famous MissingNo. Since an M evolves into a Kangaskhan when leveled up, it was theorized that this meant that Kangaskhan had a pre-evolution at some point, and that it's M for Marowak. The reason it was left in the game was because its evolutionary chain split was a last-minute change, and to delete this portion of the code would take too much time, so it was moved to a missing number, creating the glitch.
I got this. First off, M for Marowak is kind of a stretch. There are 16 Pokemon in the first generation whose names begin with the letter M, and we also know that M is likely related to missing Pokedex number. Also, consider that Cubone and Marowak are ground types while Kangaskhan is a normal type. And Kangaskhan learns no ground type moves who level up or has any significant similarities with Cubone or Marowak's movesets. How could it use Bone Club? It doesn't even have a bone!
And if the designers had time to change Kangaskhan's dex number, type, learn set, TM capabilities, and base stats, which are uncharacteristically incongruous, then how did they not have time to delete the portion of the code that evolved into Kangaskhan? It just doesn't add up.
And there's also that Game Freak has gone on record saying that there isn't a connection between these three Pokemon and this is all a coincidence. Rumors can get really crazy when you're looking for similarities and disregarding non-similarities.
Yikes. I'm gonna have to say, this one's busted.
You gotta be like Sherlock Holmes when solving mysteries! The truth is out there if you pay close attention.
I'm glad we could wipe that scandal off of Cubone's already fragile little mind. I mean, come on! Don's Pokedex entry says that nobody likes Cubone because he only thinks about himself and is sad all the time. But come on, Pokedex! I mean, his mother died.
Come on, don't get sad again. It's time for some Gen 5 Little Cup battle strategy.
I love Little Cup.
Cubone is a major contender in Little Cup, and that is because of his bones. He has a great defense stat from wearing a skull helmet all the time, and if he's holding a thick club, his attack goes through the roof.
Get an adamant-natured one to bolster attack, and use your EVs to round out the stats. Most in attack and speed, but a little bit in HP to help him out.
Give it Earthquake for stab, Fire Punch and Thunder Punch for type coverage, and Double Edge. Combined with the ability Rockhead, you won't get recoil damage from it.
If you manage to pass him a boost or two with the Taunt Pass, you can outpower pretty much anything you come up against. He's a solid dude.
Of course, that's not the only way to train a Cubone, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Holding an Eviolite instead of a Bone Club will boost Cubone's defenses in case you want him in a more supportive role.
You can put Swords Dance in there to give yourself a boost if you don't have a Baton Passer handy.
Cubone can sport Stealth Rock or Toxic for residual damage, and even can learn Perish Song. I mean, he's probably used to singing Perish Song for his mother.
And that's it! Cubone. Poor, poor Cubone. Cheer up, champ, it's all over now.
If you want to suggest more Pokemon that are sad and make me cry all the time, leave your suggestions in the comments below. But if you want to make me happy, subscribe. I'm Pokekells.
And I'm Lone Wolf Alex. Tune in next week for another smashing episode of
The Dex. I love Little Cup.
The lonely cup for a lonely trainer.
You can't do it without smiling. You love it.